In the closing seconds of Reggie's career, his former coach, Larry Brown, would call a timeout.
And Larry calls a timeout so he can bring his team to the other side of the court and join in this.
The date is November 19th, 2004. The NBA has just changed forever.
This is going to change the climate of the NBA.
Now Artest has jumped over the scorer's table and is trying to get down to the bench.
A police officer runs up to us and has his mace out.
Watch the upper right-hand corner of your screen now. Here's a chair thrown in, flying in the direction of Jermaine O'Neal.
After decades of rebuilding the league's image, the narrative is now out of their hands.
It is clear American sports fans hate professional athletes.
Talking to people who suffered injuries and were victims in that, put together and presented to the Oakland County Prosecutor's Office.
The name Reggie Miller is now synonymous with Indiana. However, it wasn't always the case. After a stellar career at UCLA, Reggie Miller would be drafted 11th overall in 1987 by the Pacers, to the chagrin of the fan base, who wanted the Pacers to draft local star Steve Alford instead.
Really disappointed that we can't go watch him. We wish that he'd be here in Indiana and we would have been there. No, that's not right. So they're stupid.
However, Miller would quickly win over the fan base with an unparalleled superpower.
Miller for three. Yes.
In a 1991 Sports Illustrated article, it would be revealed that Magic Johnson had been trying to court Reggie away from the Pacers to the Lakers.
Miller spurned Magic's suggestion. Instead, Reggie signed a 6-year, $17 million deal with the Pacers. Quote, "I want to do what guys like Magic and Larry have done," he says. "I want everybody to know who the Pacers are."
From 1993 onwards, Reggie Miller would indeed become a household name. Under head coach Larry Brown, Indiana would evolve into a contender in the East, known for their seemingly yearly battles with the Knicks, cementing Reggie's clutchness in NBA lore. In the summer of 2000, fresh off their first ever NBA Finals appearance, the Pacers would make a move that would leave their fan base stunned, trading beloved point guard Mark Jackson for an unproven 21-year-old big man named Jermaine O'Neal, who had averaged a mere 3.9 points per game the season prior. With Rick Smits retiring and Larry Bird stepping down as head coach, it marked a clear end of the Reggie Miller era. Or so it seems, but similar to Miller, it didn't take long for Jermaine O'Neal to prove he was more than just a prospect. In his first season with the Pacers, he would break out, averaging 12.9 points and 9.8 rebounds per game. By his second season, O'Neal would become not only an all-star, but also the most improved player in the league. O'Neal has now cemented himself as the franchise cornerstone for a new Pacers era, one that would soon add another game-changing piece. In the 2001 playoffs, despite giving the first-seeded Sixers a scare, the Pacers would be eliminated in the first round. The following season, the Pacers were again playing mediocre basketball. A change was needed. On February 19th, the Pacers would trade for Ronartest, solidifying the new core for the Pacers moving forward. In Chicago, Ronartest had the reputation of an eccentric problem child, so Ronartest just threw a punch against an instigating fan. But what happened even before this? Let's just go back to, let's say, the fourth quarter of this game. With around 8 minutes left in the fourth, after trailing the entire game, the Pistons would mount a comeback, cutting the lead to 5.
Phillips, Wallace fouled and it goes in.
Though this was just a November matchup, it was the first rematch of the Eastern Conference Finals, and both teams wanted this game badly, with Chauncey Billups even showing up to the game wearing his championship ring.
Very few guys, when they get them, however, do they wear them. Chauncey Billups is the exception.
However, 5 is as close as the Pistons can get it, with Detroit missing seemingly every momentum-shifting shot.
That's a three. Wallace, air ball, not a good shot.
The fans would go restless, and with 3 minutes remaining, the game is all but over.
And some of the fans here in the Palace heading for the exits. Not only do the Pistons need a miracle, they need a flat-out collapse by the Indiana Pacers.
With under a minute left, Jamal Tinsley would instruct Ronartest to go, quote, get his foul.
I'm at the free throw line. I turn around, I hear Jamal say something to you. If you got any type of shit you want to get off your chest during the game, Jamal's gonna be the one to remind you, okay? Trust me, he don't forget nothing.
Artest would oblige, fouling Ben Wallace on the other end. Wallace was not in the right headspace today.
Wallace came back in their last game. He had missed the previous two because of the death of his older brother.
Wallace would respond with this.
Then Wallace was fouled, and Wallace did. Oh, Wallace right at Artest. This has potential to be serious.
Now Artest has had a stellar night and is coming into this game already under loads of controversy.
The law is still coming out on November 23rd, so let's just go get the album.
At halftime, he will also give this now forgotten interview.
All right, Ron, thanks for your time.
The law coming out November 23rd.
He just won't let it go. He was so close to just doing it so right.
After being shoved, Artest would respond by laying on the scores table.
At that point, I was ready in therapy, so I was practicing the real time. 1, 2, 3, before you do anything.
Meanwhile, a suited Reggie Miller would come guarding the scores table. Miller, who had suffered a broken hand in preseason, has yet to be suited up for a game this season. Earlier this game, it was announced that he had been making great progress.
Pacers only have 10 players suiting up tonight. There are many other guys who are injured. He's trying to change shape and run. I asked him how long it would be. He said a couple of weeks. Rick Carlisle then walked in. He said, Coach, I can go tonight if you need me because we're short.
Miller also isn't the only person injured for this game, as Pistons coach Larry Brown is also recovering from his recent hip replacement.
Maliceatthepalace, let's go get this part out the way. A lot's been told about it. Me personally, I'm glad to see you because I've never had a chance to tell you that I'm sorry.
You don't need to say that to me, man. Come on, man. So, you don't need to apologize to me. First of all, you young cats, and when I say young, I mean Jamal, Jermaine, Al, yourself, Ron. Those last few years in Indiana, my best years. I didn't have my superpowers, but I felt, and you guys made me feel like I was Superman.
After that game, Davis Stern would hand down a historic suspension, 9 players for a total of 147 games, including Ronartest, who will be suspended for the rest of the season, effectively ending the Pacers' title hopes. Soon after, Reggie Miller would announce that this would be his final season. Yet, even while being shorthanded, the Pacers, led by Miller's leadership, make it all the way to the second round against the Pistons, again pushing Detroit to 6 games. In the closing seconds of Reggie's career, his former coach, Larry Brown, would call a timeout.
And Larry calls a timeout so he can bring his team to the other side of the court and join in this.